ladies and gentlemen. Get hyped, get hyped. It's Dungeons and Dragons time. I'm so excited. We got the players here. Gonna cue them in right about meow. Yay, and I got pizza. Life is...
You won by one. Congratulations.
Oh shit, Chris gets to do it? That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so hilarious. Okay.
Oh, I have pizza. Life is good.
She who specifically said it before we even got started. Man, I really need to start working on my recounts.
So I may be looking at Kayan's. So just as a reminder.
Do you accept the replaced bad with good?
I'll look at yours.
Yeah, Gan pretty much just ran around this entire time.
Yeah, I'll look at Chad's.
And I read some things. Other than that, I listened to Jester very good. Whenever he said run, I ran.
When I told you just set fire to the building, you went in.
I set fire to the building.
Torch it! I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I don't have a backup character generated yet.
Oh. I thought you would have had one.
I sincerely considered it after the way we left off last time.
Well, you could always bring your character back as a shade and join the Shade Club. Io and Jester can be Shade buddies.
He's already done that before.
Technically on this character, actually.
Yes, I mean, I don't think we really want Jester being a shade. Because I've seen that before.
We thought you were emo. Oh no.
I want to see emo Jester. Really want.
Do you really?
I think I do. Yeah.
Emo Jester just is like this. He walks into a building and then he lights a candle just to hurt himself.
That's actually kind of accurate.
Jester's the only shade that knows light as a spell.
And uses it frequently.
He uses it quite often.
Alright.
He was actually my first suicidal character, actually.
Alright, here's the gist of it. I woke up from passing out and
After saving Kayan.
Yes. And wake up to the worst smell on the planet. And Kayan choking down the food. And I go outside the room. I go looking for Jester, I think. And
yeah,
he's freaking out about something. And then he kind of he just throws a ring to me and says, "Put it on." And I'm like, "All right." And then all this commotion happens.
I like this.
Where it's like basically, me looking for help, and then getting them to come with us, trying to get Io to leave the stupid, gross crap alone.
It was stew. It's called a beer potato special mystery stew.
Yeah.
What was Io's role on the stew again? Like to make it a 5?
Yeah, I started out as like a 12, and then I added ingredients, and then it became a.
And thanks to a con save of like 18, I didn't vomit.
But
required an epic level con save.
Yeah.
We go upstairs. None of us can see what Jester is seeing, but we know something's happening. And during this commotion, I managed to get Io, or to knock Io's stew all over the place, because it's better than in our mouths, and him
So it was like about like
trying to get us to eat it.
It was
Yeah.
good. You didn't even have any.
You wouldn't even know. And then we went. We finally ran out, and then Jester was doing something to keep everything at bay, and Kayan like had lit it on fire, and then Jester kept it at bay, and we took off running, and hoped that Jester would be behind us soon. And I think that's about what happened. I didn't get into the specifics of it because things happened. We were there.
Fiend.
Sorry, clearing my mouth with pizza. Pretty much things happened. You were there. How did Kayan get brought back to health again?
That was the last session before this.
That's right.
Yeah, with the sword, and me
White
saying
walked in
cosmic power, and I became a White Lantern,
and then she passed out, and then I brought her into the building. I picked up the sword. I have the sword. I sat her down, and then looted the area. Invisible shit attacking people, running out of the Watsy, lighting the fire to the Watsy. And then I think we left off with Jester holding off somehow these invisible things and telling us to run. I don't know. It appears that he is just casting something and holding a bubble with nothing in it that he thinks he has everything in.
Yes, that's right. So Jester, basically, y'all started running because nobody else could see what was hitting them, and Io got incredibly fucked up, and Io is moving sluggishly and slow because he took a whole lot of health damage, and Io right now feels super drained. If you say you were going throughout the day and then suddenly a cold came on, Io feels like he just got mono in the middle of the session.
If I had a hangover, it would be times 1,000.
I was gonna make the hangover reference, but mono's a good concept too.
So Io's trying to keep up, and Kayan and Jesse are in a dead sprint away from whatever was happening, and basically Jester went all Super Saiyan, started glowing green, and an energy field just formed around him, and he outstretched his hands, and a large bubble encompassed the outside of in between the outside of the Watsy and outside the Watsy, and it's just continually storming out, which I forgot the mood setting. So it's storming out and it's super dark, and you guys are just sprinting balls to the wall in the rain, through the mud, in the storm and in the lightning, and Jester's screaming for you guys to run as he's summoning, tapping into some energy to hold these things, whatever it is, at bay, because the only person that's been able to see it, if I remember correctly from my notes, is Jester. Nobody else was able to see the assailants.
Correct.
And I'm immune to being hit by them.
How is Steph immune from
I rolled a nat 20 when I was running down the stairs. And he said the things can't do con damage to me, which was amazing. And I liked that roll.
That is pretty handy.
Kayan likes his health.
Oh, why can't go back and hold the door closed so Jesse can get over? instead of Ken running away.
He said light the place on fire. He said light it up. And I lit that shit up.
Alright, so you guys are in a dead sprint away. And why is there 2 Chris's? Let's delete one of these.
Oh,
Two hands too.
that sounds terrible.
Imagine if there was 2.
Menage what?
Oh,
That's a new definition to self-love.
Oh,
This
shit.
is crazy because on my main screen there's only 1 can. On my player screen there's 2 cans. So I had to delete the upside down can because that can was obviously the right
That
can.
kid's obviously an imposter.
But
Upside down.
If Ken admit himself, parallel,
Bizarro Ken.
conversation. Bizarro Ken, that would be hilarious to see.
All right, so you guys are sprinting. So right now, Jester, you're holding these things in your energy. Go ahead and roll a will with adjustments, and let's see what you get.
Which adjustments?
Just your modifier.
So just a will save then?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Just a will roll.
Nice.
Not terrible. Not terrible. But is it good enough?
Is it good enough to save him?
Is Jester going to have to make a new character?
Got 8 race in my face. My bubble's about to fall.
That sounds like some weird sexual shit.
Jester likes the kink. Dated a vampire once for all of like 5 minutes before he had to roast her.
Sounds like something Jester would do.
That's actually how his backstory starts.
Oh yeah? I don't know about everybody else, but Io's running towards Castle Io and the ruins.
I think I was just following. I don't think I was going in any particular location.
Can running.
It was a cannonball!
Ooh. I will take option 2, please.
Roll them dice.
Thoughts and prayers.
So as you guys are sprinting,
Fudge nuggets.
holy shit.
Oh,
So roll 1d4.
Uh,
Please, Chadwick. So you guys are sprinting, and Io's like haphazardly running, and Kane's just cannonballing it straight, and Jesse is in between like Kane and Io. Io's moving inconspicuously slow. Oh, I have to take off Io's 5 million damage.
oh yeah.
I wasn't sure.
I remember. Okay.
That's not actually how much damage it.
So you guys are running, and you can see this green glow behind you, but you're just tearing ass. Jester, you're sitting there and you're holding it, and you know that it's potentially going to only last for another 6 seconds. The bubble's starting to give way just a little bit, like flickering in and out of its being. You have one more chance to make option 2.
Yeah, no.
Oh god.
God damn
I
it!
don't know what option 2 is, but it sounds...
He literally only has to roll a nat 8 or better.
Wow.
And the results of that would be spectacular.
Has Jester lost
me.
the will to live?
So the creatures Jester have all moved towards the edge, and they're like pinging into it, and your bubbles flickering in and out. And your feet are literally like starting to almost DBZ style, like sinking a little bit into the mud under the weight of the power of you holding the spear, and it's starting to blink in and out even more. This time, if you attempt to do option 2, unfortunately with the 2 fails, the DC has increased by 2. So it's a 50-50 chance of nat 10 or higher. You have that option, or you can just let it go and run like hell, or of course face off. So what does Jester do?
Can't possibly roll below a 10.
God damn it, you just jinxed the shit out of it!
Sorry, I'm not gonna say anything. You should...
I'll take option 2.
I love it. The sweat is breaking around Jester's brow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's totally like the whole anime thing with like the exclamation point and like the little water drops.
Oh yeah, it's kind of that DBZ moment of oh shit. So a green glow comes around you, Jester, and you just have this moment of complete clarity as you focus all of your intent into your hands and into the energy coming off of you. And for a moment, everything goes completely surreal and quiet. You can hear the raindrops around you as you can feel yourself tapping into the Phalanx. And as you do this, you feel the Phalanx like respond to your summoning. The urge of pure, raw, unadulterated power that you're summoning between that tapping into that plane. And the bubble suddenly snaps. And as it disappears and goes away, the green energy that was around it just like superheats and swirls around, and it looks like literally just a ball of Fey energy has gone off inside of the bubble as it goes off, and you see those creatures sucked into the ball, and the ball just explodes. And you see the wraiths, just the energy from the wraiths dissipate as they're torn to shreds. And you manage to take out half of the Watsy in the process as it just blows up half of the building as well.
Good.
You feel super fatigued as you're sitting there, like breathing heavily, looking at your still outstretched hands, kind of like, again, that DBZ moment, as you feel almost like you're going to faint from the pure exhaustion of the power that you just tapped into. But you're just standing there, like breathing heavily, looking at your hands as the rain soaks down all around you.
Now, do we hear any of like? Do we see the like basically hear and see this just like explosion?
You hear what sounds like a bomb went off, like the ground itself. Like it's not quite an earthquake, but it's like a 0.2 on the Richter scale. Like the ground definitely shifts under your feet as you're running in the mud, and you hear multiple somethings screaming out. As you also hear splintered wood flying off in a direction south from where you were running.
I all of a sudden just hear the song, I feel the earth move under my feet.
And sparkles! Sparkles every fucking where! It's like Colin blew up.
Shit. I'm gonna stop where like put the skids on of the cannonball and look back where I hear the explosion and like feel the shockwave from.
It's hard to make out from your distance at this point, and especially with the line of sight being blocked from the wall. but you see a whole bunch of green energy just kind of like dissipating up into the sky.
Yeah. Figure once we get clear of like this building, I'm gonna like go over just to like I guess this part of the ruins because I know where the 2 is Io's home base, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna hang out in this, I guess, the southern part of the ruins. You know where that psychopath that thought Io was Jesus was, you know?
House number.
You know, when this whole town and all of our problems started right here in this general area.
Problems in this town? What problem? I keeps going, towards the his home in the ruins. He looks as Jesse kind of stops over to the side of the. He looks back. Like I yell at him to keep on running, considering that huge explosion. I don't think Jester could possibly survive. And since I'm continuing to puke up rainbows and shadows, all sorts of good stuff, limping towards safety, not taking any more chances.
Okay, so Kayan stops, Jesse stops, and Io's still moving. As we segue back to Jester, standing there trying to recoup himself, looking at the mess that was just caused. It's about right.
Is my See the Unseen still active, or did that drain it?
You're drained.
Ah, fuck. Can I yeah, I guess it's a check. Can I see or hear anything to indicate that there's any more wraiths coming at me?
Yeah, go ahead and make a listen check.
Listen. Hell! Listen!
Shit. There is nothing within earshot of you. You just hear the rain falling violently.
I will struggle my happy ass to stand. Dust myself off. See if there's any loose bottles of booze that flew out of the building.
Maybe some of Io's famous.
I guess it's not a concentrated check.
Yeah, you find a couple random bottles that are flown from the building that are, and as you look around, you can see there's more than a handful that have found themselves in the debris of wood and shit that just like launched everywhere as he blew up the front of the Watsy.
I grab a bottle, pop the top, and start walking in the general direction of where everybody else went as I drink heavily.
So epic. That again is totally an anime moment. So is Jesse and Kayan just like standing and waiting, or what are they doing?
When I see Io run past me, I keep following him.
Okay. So you take after Io.
Yeah.
Oh, what does Jesse do?
Oh, I'm following too. I mean, I was always a proponent of keeping the party together no matter how much we fight.
Okay, so Jester's slowly moving away from the Watsy, indulging in swill. Let's see.
I'm just imagining him slow motion walking with the big like
Yep.
fire behind him.
Yup.
With like maybe like wind blowing through his hair.
I like it.
So, Io, you make it up to the gates of Caso de Io.
Oh. I continue walking, or as fast as I can go, into the building.
Alright, so you walk up and you go through those iron gates that you see. And as you go to enter the building, make a spot check. You notice that the lights aren't on in the rooms like they've been before. You don't see like the daylight coming out of the windows. And you go up to the door, and the door's closed, and it doesn't immediately open. It feels locked.
Somebody locked me out of my own house. Jerks.
As Io's like standing there, like looking at the door, trying to open it, that's when Jesse and Can come running up to the iron gate. Both of you notice that it looks very dark and ominous. As you guys make it up to the iron gates, you see multiple birds kind of like, go, and fly up.
I try to fiddle with the trying to push the door open, or that has like a knob. Trying to fiddle with the door, and then I look back at I see a Can, and Jessica come, and I was like, can't get into my house. I misplaced my keys, and I just make like this like weak, sickly smile, and I peek up some more shadows.
Great. My hand hurts after what I'm about to do. Io says that I can't get into my house. I forgot my keys. Kane literally walks up to the door of this building, which I'm assuming is probably some big ass door, and he punches it right in the metal knob.
Yeah, and this makes sense with his roll. So the big doors are wooden doors, and they've got dragon knockers on it. So Kane just looks at it and goes.
I punch those things right in the knockers.
So as you do this, you punch it, and you hear a snap. Go ahead and roll 1d8.
Yeah. There you go.
Kane takes 2 points of damage as it feels like you just broke your wrist.
Probably. I just stand there and I say, I'm just holding my wrist with the other hand. Go. Maybe we need to find keys. Kane can't get in.
I kind of just look at Kane and just shake my head. It's like, that's what are you trying to do? Break down my door?
Like you said you wanted in the house. Kane tried to help.
I just shakes. He's not really. He's still feeling very sickly, but he uses his last little bit of shadowy spell energy to cast Cure Light Wounds on Can's poor little hand.
Hey,
You're dark.
I have a question. Does my psionic knock work on opening locked doors?
Yes, it's like the knock spell, so
Okay.
it will open locked
Okay.
doors, portals, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask that before I do this. I walk over to them and I am like, step aside. Let me open it. And I use
So
that.
Jesse's hands outstretched towards the door without touching it, and you see her hands glow green. And the door just opens as if you pushed it open with force. It doesn't slam open, but you can hear like a lock give way, and both double doors open, and the portal in is dark. It's like there's no lights on the inside. And as Jesse's hands are outstretched, glowing green, and the door opens, that's about the time where Jester, as you're walking through, walking up after you've thrown the bottle on the ground, you're walking along the coast and you see them at Caso de Io, standing up at the front door.
Well, I didn't die.
Are you
If
close
you're
enough for
here
us
in the
to?
morning, I'm here.
Are you close enough for us to hear that?
Am I?
No, so
Yes.
like in this
Oh.
image, you're probably the guy walking up.
So I
as you
totally
see
just
them
said all that to
standing.
myself.
That's why I was asking, because he said you can see them, and I'm like going, did you get close enough yet?
You're like the guy in the photo just walking up on the crazy haunted Caso de Io.
It's not crazy or it's very homey. Slightly in need of repair.
So I'll just like walk up and I'm not even. I'll walk up and I won't even say anything. I'm just like, huh, we're here again. I guess that was something. But
So you're behind us now?
Yeah,
yeah,
you
I
hear-
don't even say anything. I'm just like watching you guys fuck with the door. I'm like,
But I got it open, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I open the door, I kind of push it open, and then I like look back at the other two, and I'm like, see, easy. And then when I turned around and saw them, then I saw Jester like just standing there. And so I get really happy and excited, and I just like rush over to him and just hug him, regardless of whether or not he wanted that or not. And I'm like, oh my God, you made it, thank God.
I didn't know you cared.
I care about my friends, no matter how irritating you are.
Oh,
Probably the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
And I just like grin. I just grin at you then, and I'm like, well, I mean, at least you know. So, and then I like turn around and I walk over to the door. and proceed to go in. Oh, who's clacky right now? Is that Craig?
Don't hate on.
Nah, I'm muted.
Oh. Oh, is it you, Io?
Yeah.
It's Master Hacker himself.
Well, he didn't. He was just sitting so still. I wasn't sure if it was him doing that, the typing.
Emote.
Dot emote.
Well,
Emote works.
there
Emote
should have been a
works as
slash.
touch return.
So, Chris gives Jester a hug. We have that exchange, and she turns and promptly walks into the darkness. You see Io's stare lingering on Jesse, and looks back towards Jester as Jesse passes into the castle, and Jester and Io lock eye contact for just a heartbeat, and then Io pukes on his boots.
I really like the holding eye contact. Was there love in the eyes?
Probably had a little feeling of what he thought might be love, but then it just ended up being more shadows.
You know, there's a very popular trope in movies and television is the enemies to lovers.
Hey, there you go. Maybe that's where the story is going.
I haven't had a reason to immolate myself for a couple of
Maybe it took, just having a near-death experience to realize his true feelings.
No, that's okay.
All the while, Kane stands there and holds his wrist.
Yeah, that's literally what's. I'm just staring at it
Hey,
the whole time, like trying to figure out what went wrong.
Being a barbarian.
I'm so. I think Kane's finally realizing that he's been reading books too much, and that he's not as strong as he used to be.
I mean, he's just slaying dragons.
Focusing so much on alchemy that he can no longer break down doors. Very
What does Kane become?
Kane try to break door down. Door break Kane.
Door break Kane down.
Oh yeah, we're
Door
gonna
break Kane spirit.
see emo Kane now. It's all depressed. Too.
Yeah, but I follow. I guess everybody inside.
That's just Jesse. So Jesse goes in and Jester goes in. Kane was staring at the puke that he just shadowed up on his boots as Kane's staring at his wrist. So Jesse goes in and then Jester kind of not shrugs, but sees the other two standing there awkwardly, and he walks in.
Once I was done puking, he goes in too.
And I guess I will sulk and continue walking in.
I look over at Kaz why are you so sad? I fixed your hand. I healed it. Hand's all better.
Kane finally moves his hand, and he realizes that he can still move his fingers.
So as he's doing this, when you guys walk in, the room's completely dark. So can anybody see anybody besides the shade see in extreme darkness?
Oh wait, did you say all my stuff is
Yeah,
zapped?
it's off.
I'm a half elf, so I got low light.
Okay. is Chris blind as a bat?
I light up my ring.
You do what?
I light up my ring.
Oh,
Goes in the dark.
well, so now there's a green hue as Chris's ring ignites. The
I think I
room
have
that was once had the statues and was full of like happy overgrown foliage. The room is now devoid of any plant life. The plant life looks like it's shriveled up and died. The statues that lead that guard the stairways leading up to the double doors. The statues are they look as if they've been through a battle. Like there's multiple sword marks on the statue, as well as chunks of the statue is missing. And on the stairs, you see a skeleton with what looks like its head facing down. But whatever or whoever it was has eroded to time as you're looking at this macabre display in the hue of the green light from Jesse's ring.
What were we waiting for?
Oh, I just set up the scene and described what you guys saw, and just waiting to see what you guys do.
I would like to examine the skeleton. Hang on.
I would like to still hold my wrist.
You're in your rest. No more healing for the rest. You're done.
Hey, I don't know if it's fully healed, man.
That's true.
Well, I hear
It might be healed, but it still hurts.
Well, he healed the damage from the break, but Cure Light Wounds doesn't heal bones. So
Yeah.
your wrist is
You
your
just-
wrist is broken.
Yeah.
So Kane's still standing there, like he looks up and he looks at what's going on around him, and then his sight drifts back down to his wrist. As Jesse's standing there looking around, holding up her ring, you see Jester go over and crouch down next to the skeleton. You can't make out like what the skeleton necessarily would have been. It looks humanoid. But you do see a ring on its right ring finger, and it's golden.
I take it.
Upon further inspection, as you go to take it, before you try to remove it off the skeleton, you notice that there's white sylvan writing, kind of like the One Ring. There's writing on it in Sylvan. Can your character read Sylvan?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, I can.
I go over to him as he's looking at it, and I'm like, "What'd you find?"
My own, my precious. I really don't know yet.
Are you do you have something against Gollum? Io, do you?
Well, he was the horribly twisted character.
What, like Io?
I was not twisted.
Well, forcing us to eat gross stew.
It was.
That's pretty-
You
that's
didn't even
that's
try
pretty
it.
sinister.
You don't know if it was gross or not. You didn't taste it.
It smelled gross. Okay, example. I went when Anna was here last. We went to the Asian market, here, and I bought a bunch of little packets of ramen, and I bought some like brands that I'd never heard before. So I'm like, hey, I'll try it. I tried to make one the other night. It smelled so awful that I couldn't even try it to taste it because I'd bring it up to my mouth and it would make me want to vomit. And so I threw it all out. If it smells bad enough, I'm not gonna put it in my mouth.
That could have been the best
Good
chicken
call.
ramen.
Yes, it is, and that is a very good example of why I would not eat your stew.
It's unfortunate that the recipe was lost along with the water.
You didn't have a
I
recipe.
had to try again.
I was really confused by that flavor text for a moment.
Summon.
So I snap the skeleton's finger off and take the ring. And examine it a little closer.
Gladio.
Does the barrier of the
Advocati.
Adian's curse, the light of the Surma, mean anything to anybody?
How
are you asking this to us?
Pretty much exactly like I did.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of like make that sound. I'm like, well, we've all been. I know we're all the ancients because that's what we've been told repeatedly.
Most of you are, as I'm still like looking at my wrist. I say that to her.
And I look and I'm like, most of us.
Cain, son of ancient. Cain, not ancient. And just like keep
well,
at his wrist.
you're just kind of ancient. I'm assuming, and then I go, I assume that still means old.
Thor like small fire, Hulk like raging fire.
God, I love that movie so much.
So what's a Surma?
How's it spelled?
That's what they ate at the end of the Avengers, right? Shawarma. Got it.
Sure. Maybe that's what I will make next time.
Oh God.
Oh God.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm suspecting there's gonna be a lot of diarrhea after that one.
Yeah, were you actually going to try the next one? Would you try it?
Well, if it doesn't smell like, Kayan puked into the bowl.
I was just going to work on making it smell amazing, but then the taste is just going to be lackluster. That's what I was going to go for.
that good one, Chad.
And to answer your question, S-U-R-M-A?
S-U...
Surma. S-U-R-M-A.
Oh,
Suma, fuck. S-U-M-A.
oh, that doesn't make it any better. Because to me, that's not a word. And I'm gonna pretend like that's how you said it to us, that you were reading it wrong first. and then just basically spelled something even, or said, kind of spelled it out like different. And I'm like, yeah, that still doesn't, nope.
As he says this, Jester blurts out the word, and Can freezes in place. Can you feel as if like suddenly you're terrified, like something like just absolutely hits you like a ton of bricks, like if you just suddenly got like scared for your life.
Sif, what's that face look like?
And that's awesome.
No. That actually looks like. I hope no one notices that I just farted.
Yeah. No. That meme where the dwarf, where you're like waiting for your friend to smell your fart, and the dwarf from Lord of the Rings is looking over. That's what that. Yeah. But so anyway, sorry. Back to game. So super important. Kayan has like this petrified look on his face, and just like absolutely is frozen in sight. Whoever's looking at Kayan, Jessie probably out of the corner of her eye. Jester not so much because he's fixated on the ring and like trying to figure out translating. Yeah, exactly. Io preoccupied with whatever Io's always preoccupied with.
Right.
But Io probably notices the sword on Kane's back, the onyx sword, in front of your eyes. It starts to look like it's evaporating. And as it's evaporating, it's kind of like Avengers. It just fades to dust.
God.
And the ashes spread out behind Kane's back as you see the sword just fade into ashes.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that also
That's what I said
completely, I was gonna say, after he said it, I was gonna inspect the sword. That's cool. Sword goes bye-bye.
This is why we can't have nice.
So do I feel, like, as the sword's disintegrating, do I just feel like a weight going off of my back?
Yeah, it's like as if your tunic lightens, and out of the corner of your eye, like you can see the ashes like spreading throughout the air, and you see the green light like tinging, I guess. I don't know the word, but the light is like reflecting off of the ashes slightly as they float into the air and then just dissipate.
Well, that sucks. I say out loud.
So you know what it means? And I finally stopped looking.
Oh, I'm like, no. I don't know if it's like what you just said, but right after you said that, that sword just turned to dust.
And I'm staring, and like I basically just turn back, look at the ashes. Are they flying away somewhere, or do they like settle on the ground?
Come back! Come back!
Now I'm picturing things. Hold on.
They float into the air, and as they float into the air, they disintegrate as soon as they leave like your like wingspan or grasp. So they're floating up into the air, and then they just dissipate.
So Spider-Man.
Yep.
I don't feel so.
Yeah, do I hear the sword whisper? I don't feel so good, Kane.
Oh, the tears.
I'm triggered.
Kane looks back at Jester and says, so, "What'd you do to Sword?"
I didn't do anything in particular, but it's probably good that you did because the things in the inn that were trying to kill us were looking for it.
They wanted Kane's sword?
Who doesn't? Sorry.
Kane blushes.
Ayo.
That's kind of the take I got on it. Did we go over this yet? We might have gone over this. Where did you get it?
Oh, I don't think we ever did. Kain got sword from bad man who killed dragon. Kain stabbed him with it and took it. Then dragons tried to kill Kain.
I kind of pop in now with just a comment. I'm like, I'm thinking that from now on we should make this rule: when we see something like written down, don't automatically just say it out loud. Just saying.
Sounds like a good idea.
Was that Craig's response to her suggestion, or was that?
That was
No,
before.
to the actual
Okay.
like in character conversation that was happening there.
I look at after I said that, I'm like, did you know what Wraiths wanted with sword? People seem to want the sword a lot. First the guy that I killed, and then the dragons that I killed, and then the Wraiths that you killed. There's a lot of people who died for sword.
Are we still talking about the one that just disintegrated?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Did you know what Wraiths wanted with sword?
They didn't really say specifically, just they were calling for it. But there was something weird about them. That they were out of time. Not like running out of time, like they were out of sync with current time.
Like they were in like the past or future?
Something like that?
I knew from like his knowledge of planes that they were kind of like stuck out of time, space. So something I pretty much nodded, gesture saying, and then he peeks up some more shadows.
You should probably do something about that.
Yeah, anybody know fourth tier restoration magic? That come in handy.
And also, Lauren Canoli didn't have anything to do with the sword.
They wanted it. They
They
wanted
want
all the
all of
swords.
them.
I know they want all the swords. So
But we never interacted with them when I had it.
no. What
Okay.
about the other sword? But
We're
I can
so
assume
close. Think back to that session. We're so close.
Well, now we're down 2 swords.
Well, I mean, it could be the same sword because they took it. The other guy had it, so it could be the same sword. Or it could have given it to that guy that killed.
Jester, what did Ring say again?
I didn't think I was supposed to say it anymore.
Well, don't say it in characters.
You said
just
it once,
tell us.
sword disappear. You say it again, maybe sword real. Or nothing happened.
The barrier of the Adian's curse, the light of the word that I'm not supposed to say.
Maybe if you say it, it'll come back. I can't.
What if you say it backwards?
Say it backwards and invoke the special words of, cosmic power.
Oh, he said it. He said it!
Oh,
Without any focus even, he said it.
Yeah, I just blurt it out because he never uses it. So if something
A
terrible
sandwich
happens, it's that would be amazing if the sandwich actually appeared. Or maybe like a restoration potion.
So,
damn it.
What was the barrier of the Adians?
The barrier was sword. Sword protected all of us.
Sorry, that's my out of game. That's my spelling. It's supposed to be bearer, like the
Oh.
bearer.
That's an entirely different thing.
I know.
So, bearer as in like one who carries something?
Yes, sir.
The bearer of the Adian's curse, the light of the Summa?
Yes,
Which,
that's
he's
correct.
translating this anyway, so that's entirely possible that he kind of fucked it up at least a couple times.
Yeah, I originally wrote it, like, in my defense, one, I suck at spelling, we all know this, but two, like, I had it written in Sylvan to be like, oh yeah, you see this, and then when, Chad, when you were like, oh yeah, I just go and pluck it, I was like, fuck, I'll just whisper it to you instead of typing it out for everyone.
Bearer of the Adians.
So, yeah, my bad. It's the bearer of the Adian's curse, the light of the Amus? Summa.
Bearer of the... Oh.
So, this guy was carrying the curse? We should have killed him a while ago. Is he wearing any clothes at all, or is he just a skeleton with a ring?
All you see is a skeleton that had a gold ring with white writing on it in Sylvan, and the writing looks very majestic when it's typed out in Sylvan there.
Yeah.
Bearer of the Adian's curse, light.
God.
And Summa is lowercase, it's not a proper noun?
Yes, it's lowercase, specifically on the ring.
Huh. I would like to phone a friend. Or at least attempt to. Do I have any oomph that I can channel any energy?
You attempt to, and your energy just feels currently like, if you had MP, your MP would be at -1.
Here we go.
I am not the Energizer Bunny.
You're a dilapidated bunny.
It's true. So I will attempt to make this check. I don't know. Yeah, that's who I'm trying to contact. Not forged yet. What do you mean the Codex is broken? He's literally having this conversation, one-sided conversation, as he's like fiddling around with the ring. can't or won't say? I don't care what color the lady is. Where do I find her? The fact that she's white means nothing to me. Fine. We're looking for a white lady.
Looking for a white lady.
I don't think that narrows it down very much.
So,
Apparently she knows the secrets and the dark secrets that only she can tell because my boys have no info. Or can't tell us. Are you the white lady? I asked Jessica.
well, I don't know if I'm the white lady, but as you can see, I am white.
So tell us, white girl, why is the Codex broken? Why is this ring not forged yet?
I just kind of look at him with like this, like, not a blank stare, but kind of like, oh, come on.
And I tossed you the ring. Maybe you can get an idea of what's wrong with it.
So let's take as we do that, let's take a quick break.
Oh shit.
I need a pause for a moment, so that we can review something. So as Jesse's thinking about what she's going to do with that, I sent whispers. So just a quick review on that. But this is, I'll send give me.
Just to let you know, I was halfway through this when you sent it to me.
Oh, okay. Well, now it's on the other person.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure Jester doesn't know shit about what's going on. So all these comments, I'm like, what the I don't know what you're talking about. Give it to somebody else.
I kind of just like look at it and I'm like, I don't know. I can't even read it. Also, I feel like we need to go down memory lane again.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Memories.
Hold on. This one.
Not the Demogorgon. I want to fight the Demogorgon.
That face. There's my payoff.
What?
Nothing.
Oh. Is he reading something that you wrote?
Yeah.
Except that didn't have anything to do with Jester. But now that I remember the reference, the other two, well, their characters wouldn't know, but they would.
One did. One did not.
Here you guys go. This is a picture that Anna just sent me. It's loading.
I
That
need to
looks
step
like
away
fun.
for just a second.
What'd you say, Io?
That looks like fun.
I don't know what fun means, but what kind of fun you're talking about, but yeah.
Fatigue, fracture.
Oh,
Good stuff.
nah, I'm good. That's why she's the smart one. That's what I think when I watch Sif build like plans and shit. I was like, yep, and you're the smart one.
He plays the smartest character in the party. It's the brains party too. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, what does Jesse do? Like,
Sorry, I was just receiving some messages, and also we're back now.
yeah, we're waiting on Chad to come back, but I was just curious what you're doing. So, I
Well,
don't know,
I
firm
was
up the scene.
well. He had thrown me had randomly asked me those questions as if I was. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Okay. Asking me if, like if I knew what those things meant and if I was the white lady, and threw me the ring, and I just was kind of like, I don't know what to do with this. I can't read this. And that was, and me just kind of like looking at it and stuff, and knowing from our experiences on not doing stupid things, I don't do the thing where you're like, oh, let me see what happens if I put it on. I'm not doing that. So so I'm just kind of looking at it, seeing if there's anything that I could recognize off of it, but I doubt it.
I look over at Jessica. Is like, well, if you're afraid to put it on, I'm willing to be a guinea pig. I mean, I can't get much worse than I am now. And he pukes up some more shadows. He's like,
So you want to do stupid things by just without knowing what it's going to do. Just, I mean, you saw what just happened when he read something off of the ring, and now you just want to put it on?
what's the worst that could happen?
What happened to the sword happens to you? Look, the guy, we just took the ring off of a guy who's a skeleton. Who knows? Maybe that's what happens.
I'm ashamed. Maybe it works differently. Maybe he didn't. The ring didn't. We don't know if the ring caused him to die. I mean, he could have just died from somebody killing him or old age or anything. We don't know. We need some answers here.
I looked at Kay and I'm like, your thoughts?
Kay is too busy looking at it and paying attention. Maybe Sip is muted. Maybe he can't hear that. I don't think he's engrossed in something.
Apparently he is and can't hear
Apparently
us.
he is. Yeah. He's engrossed.
Let me write this here. Do. Alright. See if he doesn't look happy.
He looks perplexed.
I think we lost Sif.
That's why I'm like, he looks sad.
I think he's rereading what I sent him.
Oh. Oh, like when you were, how you put on the comment, Kane forgot lore and Canali?
Some of it.
Yeah, because stuff is so spread out and we do such random things on our sessions, I forget lore all the time. Like, I
can't
don't
forget
know,
lore.
like
She's a
all
jerk.
of this, even though I've done 3 different campaigns with you around like the same type of stuff. Do I understand the lore? No.
I think Io needs another lore post.
There's so much to it.
So,
Also, not the benefit of knowing like all stuff before.
I can hear him typing now.
oh,
Sif is typing. Sif is leaving. Sif. Look what you did to Sif. You made him go away.
Okay.
that was he didn't look happy.
I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, me too. Should we just take a break right now?
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna be right back. And I have to do like nose blowing stuff, so I'm going to
Screw it.
turn off the camera because no one needs to
We want to
see
see
or
that.
hear that. Yeah, I'm gonna mute
Need to see
myself.
and hear that.
We want
No,
to show, right?
I'm also gonna mute my
Yes.
Discord too because again, no one needs to see or hear that.
Now we're just going to be imagining. It's just
Chris went to blow her nose, and Sif ran off camera real quick. And Io's puking on his boots. He just
Yes,
keeps,
that's
like,
what he's
puking
doing.
Shadows all
he
over
kind
the
of changes it up instead of puking on his own boots. He pukes on other people's boots.
That's wonderful.
He's probably puking on Jessica's boots, right? Because if he puked on Jester's boots, Jester would probably do like an Eldritch Blast. Well, since he's like all drained of mana, maybe this is the perfect time for I to puke on Jester's boots because he won't be able to do anything. He might,
Give you
try
a
to
kiss
get
of death.
just slapping him or something.
Kissed
But-
by a rose.
I've still got daggers.
You still what?
I still have daggers.
When's the last time you managed to hit somebody with that? I guess be real.
I know. But the one time I wasn't actually hoping to hit you is the one time I hit you with the Eldritch Blast. So
Yeah.
That's how this campaign goes. You can't hit shit when you want to.
True.
But we have no knowledge, or Jester at least has no knowledge of those individuals or that happening.
No. So
What individual?
I don't know. I didn't get anything to read. Clueless.
yeah, you weren't here for the last campaign, so it wouldn't make any sense to you.
But it wouldn't make sense to my character either.
No. No,
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for Kane yet.
So were the, and I guess I'm kind of asking this in-game out loud, so I should probably wait for Chris too, but we can rehash it. So were the swords what were holding the barrier together? The dreamscape thing?
It's kind of up to interpretation. because they were trying to get us to kill Esri when we were in the dreamscape because she was the one you had to kill to escape the dream.
Which Dreammaker was making a dream. Swords were used to kill Dreammaker.
Yeah, personally, Io thinks that Io is the Dreammaker. He agrees with Kane, making one, keeping the dream together.
I don't know. Did we actually determine if I actually gave the ring to Jessica or no?
Yeah. So you gave it to her, and you were reading over that stuff that I sent you guys. She basically looked at it and was like, "I don't know what to do with this. Every time we do things randomly, things go bad." And then she had to go blow her nose.
Yeah, and then she said she doesn't want to just put it on because you don't know what's gonna happen. Io and Jessica got into a discussion about, well, I'll put it on if you're. That's when she went. So we're asking Pan what his input was. She asked what his was on. Should Io try to put it on? She
I think it would be fabulous if I put it on.
Io's been picking up shadows for a long time now. He doesn't have anything to lose. He's willing to be a guinea pig and see what happens.
So I guess the question we haven't bothered to ask is, if we've got time-shifting wraiths attacking us, when are we?
Obviously not where we were.
Not where. When? Because my guys are saying that the Codex is broken and something hasn't even been forged yet.
It hasn't been forged yet. We could be in the past, but given the looks of the place, we might be a future. These time paradoxes are very. Anybody have a watch?
Io loses a level as he metagames himself into a corner.
You don't know. We can have watches and this timeline. They might not be like modern day watches, but they could be like sundials or something.
No, there legit are like pocket watches in the player's handbook. Like I believe
there
it's
you
player's
go.
handbook, but there's legit like pocket watches, like in WoW terms, like gnomish pocket watches.
Io searches for parchment in the house with maybe a newsletter or a date or something, a document that could have historical records.
Within the empty room?
Yes.
Okay, you find none.
I don't find it. Hey, at least he tried.
I can see Io so building the scene. Kayan and Jester are having this intense conversation about like the dreamscape and like where you guys are at. Jesse's like basically like hot potato, like I don't want this ring, like we can't put this on. And I was like, huh, and starts like forging through things, and then randomly comes back into screen as Kayan and Jester are having this like super weighted serious conversation, and he's like, I don't find anything.
I was just trying to be practical. In between his peeking sessions. That is a really long, blowing of the nose session Chris has had.
Okay.
She's back.
And I can breathe through my nose.
Such a relief.
It is.
We've been talking about when we are in time and space. And I tried to look for a newspaper, but and I think you left off with asking Ken what he thought about the ring. I think.
Oh, because Io here was going off about how, well, because I don't want to put on the ring because we learned what happens if you say something, that's written on the ring, that sword disintegrated, and we don't know why that guy wearing the ring was dead. And I was like, so I'm not going to put the ring on to see what happens. So then Io started saying, well, maybe I could put it on and see what happens since I'm a shade and it might not affect me if anything, bad would happen. And I was still saying, are you dumb? So, but then I was like, so what are your thoughts on this, Kayan?
And look at the ring and say, this ring, I can no read what's on ring. But just to say it's about old people, about ancients. And
yes.
you are all ancients. And the only thing as Kayan's son of ancient, and Kayan just has this thing, and he lifts up the amulet that's on his chest. He goes, "This is from ancients, right? We have this since the tubes, the sleeping pods."
So you think it would be a good idea to try to put it on?
Kayan shakes his head. Kayan goes, Kayan just keeps this, but not wear a ring. That is my child trying to break down my door.
Oh.
Barricade the door, Steph.
Daddy,
He's just whacking it with a hammer.
It's like a zombie trying to get in.
A little toy hammer.
My God, that still doesn't answer my question.
As she's talking to Ken, I'll kind of glazes over his eyes. He looks very distracted, like he's hearing something again.
I would like to examine the amulet that he's showing. Is there any writing on it?
There is.
Is it in Sylvan also?
It is.
I would like to read said Sylvan writing.
Yeah, to Kayan's knowledge, this is just a piece of junk that he's been told to carry around with him.
Where did Kayan get that?
Kayan got it after he got out of Sleepy Tube.
Where did he get it from?
From a weird, crazy person that he doesn't know who it was. At least from my,
I always wear jewelry from weird, crazy people.
Weird, crazy person told Kayan to always keep this on him and to keep everyone around him safe. Verbatim, I think I have it written down. I think.
Are there any symbols on the ring?
I have it there.
Craig must be typing something since I got no answer.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
I'm still trying to decide if I want to try putting it on or not after Can's thing about like that he got that from the ancients, and this had something about the ancients on it. So, and I wasn't really noticing that Jester wanted to go look at the amulet and stuff. So
Yeah.
then I'm like fine, and I put the ring on just to see.
Oh, now she decides she didn't want me.
And as
Whatever you just did, Craig stopped typing to me.
And that's the last view. See your turn. I was too busy, too distracted.
and as Jester wanted to inspect the amulet, I'm like, yeah, some person when we were in Dream, maybe Dreammaker, maybe Lore, maybe I don't know, some crazy person gave me this.
So the amulet is golden, and it has white sylvan language written on the outside ring of the amulet, and you can't make out the words, Jesse, because it's in Sylvan. And what was your question that you asked?
Me?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, just what it looked like.
Well, I just asked what if it had a symbol on it, and then I also decided to put it on
The amulet or the ring?
the ring.
So the ring has writings around it as well that Jester was talking about.
Yeah.
And you put it on, and you don't feel anything.
Okay. I just shrug, and I'm like,
Baby's getting in. Can anybody read what's on the amulet? I can't read. It's not in Draconic. I wasn't that.
Let's see. So the darkness bonds the light, held steadfast by the rights of anima. Those who know sleep waiting by keepers light, possibly lepers. The son of the dream maker is but one of 12.
And after he says that, I just go, I have brothers? And
I look at him. I'm like, hey, there could be a sister there.
I kind of nodded at Jesse, but I like looking at Jester. I like pat my chest. I go, Dreammaker, one that woke me up. He kept calling me son. Was he my dad? Am I son of Dreammaker?
Oh
I'm
god.
looking at Jester for literally all of the answers since I've been holding this thing forever. Jester just basically told me who my dad was. And I had no idea my entire life. So he holds the key to all of my knowledge.
Oh, no. Now he's gonna like follow Jester around and ask him questions.
Are you my dad?
No, you just said someone who kept calling you son gave you that. Darkness bonds the light, held steadfast by the rights of anima. Who's anima?
Anima's the
Short version.
well, short version. She's the pretty much the head honcho of the light. It's she was killed by the daughter of darkness. I responds, and it goes back to puking and talking to himself.
Those who know sleep waiting by keeper's light.
No.
But didn't we all just wake up? So supposedly we should know something? Sleep. Light, son of the Dreammaker, but one of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 8 others running around screwing things up, just as bad as the rest of us. No,
Sounds about
That's the
sorry.
case we know, too.
7 others. Sounds like Tiburon bit it. Oh, and then there was the ones we left for dead in the tube chamber. So that was fun.
Or, you know, to be fair, we tried to leave you for dead too, but
Well, there's 4 here. And Tiburon is 1, so 5. And the other 2 bad guys are 7 with Lore and Canelli, Aya's shady buddies.
Were they sleepers, though? He said
I don't
metagaming the fuck out of it?
think Laura or Canali are
Some-
agents.
Not all chambers were full, right? Some chambers were open. Bless you.
Thank you.
Outside of game. Not blessing you in game.
Yeah.
Blessing you in game. Yes, the whole town's brought up.
If you
Or
need
what is it?
the
Because apparently
flash
the mage-
machines, you can do that.
There are 12 tubes when we woke, right?
I thought there was only like 6.
I know that there's 12 agents.
Like there was a separate location somewhere for the others.
And
And don't forget Canali died in the dream. He was
yeah, hey, back. 12 tubes. And there were 12 swords, too. 12 blades on the table when in Dream.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 12 swords, 12 ancients. That's what I was trying to tell you. And when we got out of the dream, but no one ever listened to Io. Now everybody's figuring it out on their own again. Months later, they come to the conclusions that Io was trying to tell them months ago. I would just shake.
And I kind of looked at it. Or are you actually saying this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
I
like
kind
I
of
do.
turned to him. I'm like, well, it's hard to listen to you sometimes when everything that comes out of your mouth is whining.
It's not whining, I'm explaining. Try to explain.
No. And whining.
You see what kind of with you'd whine.
What did you say? No, I didn't hear what you said.
So I said, well, considering the company I have to keep, you'd whine too. I have to put up with that stuff.
Well, the point I was making was the fact that you were whining. You know, it was kind of hard to listen to. And half the time you were arguing with Jester, so. Or wait, no, that's more than half the time. All the time.
It's like,
So-
what are you talking about? Chester wasn't even part of the party when I was trying to explain what was going on. That was with Denali. That was even way
I
before.
thought you were talking about after we came out of the dream.
Well,
I
I
walk up
explained
and
things while we were in the dream. I explained some talking about.
Silver. I want the ring. Give me the ring.
Look, I looked at him, I'm like, what?
Give me the ring. Keep having your discussion.
Why?
Just give me the ring.
I looked at him and I'm like, well, this is not an important discussion. What did you figure out?
Well, the ring's written in Sylvan. I'm the only one who can read it.
Yeah, you told us what it said, so what did you figure out? I'd like to know what you're planning on doing before you just go and do something, please.
Well, I figure if saying the word destroyed one sword, it can probably blow them all apart and end this whole thing.
Okay. When you say end this whole thing, what do you know is exactly what's going to happen, and this doesn't always end well.
Let me phrase it like this. The first time you died, that I know of, and before we came back to this burned out wasteland with gods and dragons chasing everybody, we had possession of another sword, and the other guys wanted it to do who knows what. If the swords are destroyed, problem solved. And it sounds like from this ring and your amulet deal, those swords were used to put us in a prison that worked out super well for us.
Hal finds himself agreeing with Gesture. He said, Gesture's right. If we can't, swords are too dangerous. We need to destroy them. Can't be used against us again.
I think the campaign's over. The world just ended.
That's why I was like, I know. I was just about to have my characters say, looking at Kay, and I'm like going, this is the sign of the apocalypse. They just agreed with each other.
Well,
Oh, I looked over and I'm like, all right, well, I guess it is worth a shot, but if we all die, I'm blaming you, and I'm
Fair enough. It'll be a wash for the day. I saved you guys once, so I'll kill everybody now. I can't have my column too far in the good.
Oh, and a comment on your out of game comment there, Craig. Somebody has to be the mom.
It was an awesome look. I remember seeing that many times in my childhood.
And in your first marriage.
Shit.
Slash only.
I know, I was just about to say.
So do you give me the ring?
I hate how many years of information I have to remember.
It spans.
Yeah, see, and like I hate you. Yeah,
It's like sitting on a puzzle piece. The one that you need.
no, a puzzle I could put together. This is like a blank Sudoku thing and going like, nope, you're fucking wrong. No, that's not right either.
Well, to be fair, this is like the first in-character conversation, like on the totality of it, that I think the characters have had since leaving the dreamscape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just having an existential crisis.
I am an existential crisis.
So since Jessica put the ring on, I guess nothing happens. She give it back to Jester.
Yes.
Oh, I put it on. I say Suma.
Oh, so Jester put it on. Did it happen? When I put it on.
Suma.
It sounds like a sumo wrestler. God, the air's so dry here. My hands are so dry.
Should move further west. We got plenty of moisture over here.
I don't know. I like it here.
So dry.
So, Jester screams Suma, and the room is suddenly filled with light, like a blinding light, to the point where you hear Io scream out as every fiber of his shade-like being is fighting to like stay cohesive in the blinding light that ensues. The ring around Jester's finger, the inscription lights up. And is Jester holding the amulet, or did he give it back to Can?
I held it in my
Can
hand.
still has it.
All right, so the inscription on that glows as well, and you see kind of Jesse's eyes flash white for a moment, just completely white, and materialize in Jester's hand out of pure light. Is a longsword with a black hilt, with the silver cross member on it. The sword feels as if it should be like super heavy, like weighted down. And as you're holding it, it has almost no weight in your hand. It feels almost weightless. The light continues to beam from the tip of the sword. And as the light's beaming, Io's literally cowering. Like, Io's will is the only thing holding him together from just bursting into a pile of ashes. And standing in front of Jester is a white outline of a figure. And the figure stands almost 6 feet tall. and is wearing like brown robes. It's all outcased in like a white kind of shadow, almost alternate to Io. Io being a shade. The light's just radiating off of this thing, this creature. So this guy has a long brown robe on, and he's holding a large staff. And he's like locked eyes with Jester. And Jester's kind of locking eyes with him for a moment. He has a very long beard that's braided in one spot, and that's holding it together. The beard's probably down past the middle of his chest. His hair is longer and unkept, and has turned to gray. And as the
It's
figure
Gandalf!
staring at Jester, it turns to Kayan and locks eyes with Kayan. And for a
Brown
moment, he looks almost exactly like Kayan. You can see the reflection of Kayan in his face in the features. And he
He is
stares
dead.
Kayan up and down. And he says, slowly speaks in a very low tone, "I can't stay. You must make your way back to the right time. You must find the others of the 12. Find me there and find Bausch." And with that, like, the energy dissipates and the light disappears from the tip of the sword, and the room's left in darkness. And in that instant, Io kind of snaps back to not like trembling under the weight of this pure light. And it still is in very lingering pain, as if you feel as if you've almost been torn apart.
Let's not do that again anytime soon.
I take the sword. Or is the sword gone too?
No, you're holding the sword, and as you're looking at it, on the hilt of it, it's got a symbol of a hammer within the circle dial itself.
Hammer.
Yep, give me a second. I'll produce a photo.
As Jester's inspecting that, I point out to where the figure was, and I'm like, "Did you see that guy? He looked like Kayan."
It's in the D&D channel in the Discord. The photo of what it looks like on the hilt.
Yeah, I think that was your dad.
So this doesn't strike me as being mine. I mean, do I have any affinity for it, or what's the...
It feels like a sword. However, it feels like it should be heavier. But you can tell by inspection, it's made of a type of metal that you've never seen before, and you don't feel a distinct connection. But let's say this. Let's say a good analogy would be like you're cleaning your house or whatever, and you're going through some closets, pulling out the winter clothes, and you pick up like a knickknack that you haven't seen in years, and you have like that reminiscing feeling. You have that feeling as you're inspecting the sword.
But would it be like going through my closet, or would it be like going through my grandma's closet, where it's just like familiar?
Okay,
Like,
how
oh yeah,
about
I've seen this.
it's definitely your closet, but let's say like if you were to go back to your parents' house after moving out years later, and it was your room was kept the same, and you find a random knickknack from high school.
It's really specific.
I'll keep it. We'll call it good.
Did you guys hear man talk, or is that just Kayan?
Oh, we
Yes,
heard him.
We all heard it.
And he did look an awful lot like you. Did he seem familiar at all?
He looked like Can. I don't know.
I
I did
don't
not know
know.
that.
Well, considering we just had a conversation about like
Or was it Kane?
someone being the son of an ancient or whatnot.
What if that was old you coming back to tell us, get your shit together?
He seemed
Marty,
awfully
we gotta go to
eloquent.
the past, Marty.
He seemed awfully eloquent to be Kayan.
Well, it could be a long, far into the future where Kane has advanced the knowledge and intellect from all his reading of the arcane.
Man said we need to get back to right time. No matter if Can or Can Dad, we in wrong time.
I kind of mumble a comment to myself, and I'm like, "Oh, he's read a ton of books and gained a lot of knowledge since I've known him, and he hasn't talked any better since."
You stop putting Kane down. Kane is smart.
I'm not saying he isn't smart. I was talking about being eloquent. That is completely different.
And we have to find a Bausch. Do you know a Bausch?
What's about?
Isn't that one of the guys that we talked to that
Left
in
for dead.
yeah. I pointed to Jester when he's
Is Bausch a tube guy?
I believe that's what his name was. We talked to those other people.
We did talk to other people.
Yeah, I had to talk to myself out of game. That was weird and awkward.
That was really.
And then Chad had a three-way.
Wow, Chad, you're busy.
Anyway, supposed to be a family-friendly channel.
Now, question is, how do we get to right time? As Kanan sits there, like, scratching his head.
I put the sword up and say Suma and hope to hell that it goes away.
Don't do that again. Did you know the last time you said that? I just immediately assumed
on
it
your
says the
ring starts to glow white, and the ring itself dissipates into pure light and disappears. The white light on your ring that's illuminating the words slowly goes back to no longer glowing. Again, you see as you do this, you see a flash of Jesse's eyes turn white, and then they go back to normal color.
Okay, wait. The writing on the ring fades, but the light, but the ring dissipated.
So you scream Suma, and the ring glows, and as the ring glows, the sword turns white, like white, pure white light, and disappears, and then the ring stops glowing white. The wording's still white, but when you activated it, the words started glowing, the sword disappeared, and then after the sword disappeared, the ring stopped glowing.
So, and you said as Jester did this, Jessie, like she was glowing white again?
Her eyes were.
I pointed at Jester because I'm assuming Jester, as he's doing this, is looking at the sword and not like seeing Jessie's, like what's happening to her. So I pointed at Jester to say you say that, and she changes.
What?
I said
Maybe she should have this.
Your eyes turn white when ring turned white. I pointed as I'm pointing at Jester. I go, give her that, and you do the same thing he did. You take his ring, you take that ring, and you say the thing.
Didn't the ring disappear?
No, the sword disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah, I misheard that the first time too.
But what happened to me though? What happened?
When jesters say word, your eyes turn white like ring turn white.
Oh,
If he say word and it affect you, you might be your ring. Ring might work better on you.
I guess maybe worth a shot. What do you think, Jester?
Kane stand in front of Io as this tries to happen again. As to possibly block giant holy light that might incinerate him.
I was way ahead of he as soon as they mentioned the word again, he's like in a dark, very dark corner of the house, and far away. He's cowering in a corner somewhere.
Jester's in a trance.
I may have done something really bad.
Shit.
What else is new?
I think this glowy fancy sword is called Dawnbringer, and that amulet around your neck is a key of some sort, and this was a god-slaying weapon in the possession of paladins that I may or may not have stolen once upon a time. And oh, by the way, we kind of need to go because all the gods are coming to kill us.
Kane just gets a crazy, frightened look on his face. And he just says, "Where we go?"
So as they say this, the shadows wrap around Io, and you can hear like the darkness literally coalescing around Io. And you see Io step into the shadows, and then you see him at the top of the stairs pushing the door open and bolting through the door.
The one at the top of the stairs, or the one the outside?
Yeah, the one's at the top of the stairs.
I run where Io is going.
I'll make Mom happy, and I'll follow.
You could always just stay there and hang out in this alternate time zone in the future.
I, of course, follow.
So as you guys are following after Io, he is in like dead sprint / shadow jumping. So every once in a while, the darkness around him just coalesces and he appears yards in front of him. So Kane's rushing up to him, and you guys are frantically running through, bless you, areas of this chapel you've never seen. You're running into a large room with anterior rooms, and Io just keeps running straight. Bless you. into
It's true.
into what feels like forever. He's running, and you see that there's a large spiral staircase in the middle of the tower, and Io just starts running up the spiral staircase up to the top of the tower. And as Io is running, you hear birds flying out the top of the tower.
I have a bad feeling about this.
He's just following Io. He's doing a good thing. You gotta trust in Io.
What is the knowledge for?
Thank you. I had to stop. I'm like, oh fuck, what did I screw up? No, I was wanting to see if I could, like, confirm my thoughts on, is this Dawnbringer the thing that I may or may not have stolen from a Paladin's temple?
The word, like, as soon as you said it and it left your lips, it invokes the feeling of, like, mentioning, like, a tragic heartbreak of, like, an ex, like, mentioning their name. Like, you just feel suddenly sunken as the words leave your lips, and you feel racked with guilt and or pain. And your knowledge of religion, suddenly as Io started bolting off and you guys are running after him, there feels to be some kind of presence, which is all that a adjusted 10 can give you, but there's some kind of presence of some kind of divine power or divine energies that you haven't felt at all since being on Adia.
Is it Tempest?
That'd be weird if Tempest was on another realm. Why
Is that-
would a god from another realm go to another realm?
Is that a Faroon thing or is that a Greyhawk? I can't remember.
It's Faroon. Bless you. So Io runs up the stairs as Jester is contemplating this, and you guys follow him up this winding steel spiral staircase. And as you get to the top, Io like stops dead, and you're in the very tower of this cathedral or this temple or whatever it is. And suddenly, like, Kain feels like a moment of oh shit, kind of like his face showed a couple minutes ago. As you get to the top of the spiral staircase, you see a large black bell that looks like a little bit disintegrated over time. There's a double, like, knotted rope holding it up, not even a chain. But as you come off the spiral staircase, you're standing on what looks like almost a translucent glass floor. And you're standing on this glass floor as you're looking up at the very spire of the cathedral. And Io is just kind of standing there staring at the bell and looking at the bell. In the darkness, like, streamers are coming off of him. And the darkness just deepens around him. Bless you.
Did you say glass floor?
I said glass floor.
Uh-huh.
Mother.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that.
What's wrong with the glass floor? I mean, they made in China they made a bridge of glass, and that worked out very well.
Oh, nothing. It just took 3 years to get here.
Oh, fuck you, man. My head hurts.
Yeah, to be fair, I do not remember anything from those first couple of campaigns, so I have no idea.
My brain.
I get ready for a fight.
Io rings the bell.
Oh, you fuck. You
I get
bitch.
ready to fall.
Can't help it. There are whispers in my head. They're telling me to ring the bell.
And I'm waiting for history to repeat itself. Or happen for the first time, I suppose. Depends on which way you look at it.
That's very true. Yeah, ring that shit, dude.
I was not even saying he's just
Yeah.
hearing voices.
I figure I was already rung this, so
yeah, I've already. I just immediately, as soon as I got up there, that's what I did.
yeah.
I
As he
rang the bell.
steps closer to it, I'm assuming since we took off and I still have the amulet in my hand, that amulet's going back around my neck, and I'm looking at Jester who's prepping for some ass whooping, and I'm gonna do the same.
All right.
I've noticed they're all like preparing something, and I look down and notice that it's a glass floor, and I'm like, well, that looks unsafe, and I kind of float up off the floor.
So in the series of events, as Jessie starts floating off the floor, she's wrapped in her green light. The light completely encases her, although it's dampened, as if the light her ring and her energy is giving off is dwarfed by the very darkness that Io has summoned around him. With that said, the ground, the glass floor kind of shakes a little, like it's kind of giving as Io rings the bell. There's just an immense, for whom the bell tolls, like ringing in each of your ears, that almost makes you cover your ears as Io's ringing this bell. And each time the bead inside of the bell strikes against the side of the bell as it goes back and forth, you see ravens begin flocking in a circle around the top of the tower. And the flock of ravens just start to coalesce as the bell is tolling. The darkness grows ever deeper. You can see the rain outside begin to pick up its pace and falling even more dramatically. As the bell hits its 12th toll, as Io continues to hit it back and forth, couple things happen. First, Chris stops floating in air, and as if she's frozen, and that green light explodes into a white energy, but the white energy replaces the green, and it just dampens out within the darkness, though. So it's like if you had a white crayon surrounded by black, it doesn't shine. She's a white coalescence of energy, encompassed in darkness. And as that happens, the amulet, the chain around Kane's neck, suddenly snaps, and the amulet begins to fall to the glass floor.
Can I dive for it?
Next time on Dungeons and Dragons.
Next time on Why Would We Have Nice?
Because, and I don't even have any intention of like stopping it from hitting the glass. I just want to catch it so that everything repeats the way that it did.
Oh, also, I want to just to planning ahead. Not this next weekend, but the weekend after, the couple of days before Christmas, I am definitely not going to be able to be here. I'm going to have my sister and brother-in-law staying at my house, and because they're going to be here for a week, and so I'm not going to be. Yeah, that weekend. I definitely cannot do that weekend. I can probably do the New Year's Eve weekend, the following after. But that weekend, big no.
Okay.
So next weekend, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Weekend after, no.
Especially since they rarely come here, especially for like Christmas, so it's a big deal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dungeons and Dragons Codex of Adia 45. I want to thank you for joining us.
I'm probably going to have this desk moved out of this room, so this couch.
I appreciate everybody for jumping in. We'll catch you next week when this is definitely going to heat up as we enter with action.